Do Formula 1 drivers always maintain their cool, or do they sometimes let their emotions take over? While they often display professionalism and athleticism, the intensity of racing can lead to heated conflicts, occasionally escalating into physical altercations. Join us at Speed Arena as we revisit 7 instances where Formula 1 drivers found themselves in real fights. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Number 7. 2005 Belgian Grand Prix, Schumacher and Sato. By 2005, the Ferrari and Schumacher pairing that had been the scourge of Formula 1 for 5 years was not nearly as powerful as it once was. The 2002 Belgian Grand Prix was not the race where the newcomers, Alonso and Raikkonen, who were not contending with Schumacher for first place. Nevertheless, it was not an auspicious beginning for him. He was in 6th place, not far behind Takuma Sato. On the 14th lap, Sato, who was too quick and was too aggressive in his driving, crashed into the back of Schumacher's car, which took both of them out of the race. Schumacher talked to Sato for a few seconds and made a tiny gesture to his helmet, but he seemed to be more calm. Number 6. 1977 Canadian Grand Prix, Hunt punches the Marshal. James Hunt was a real racing driver. He was a good racer in his generation, as well as he was known to have a rowdy side that was not just on the track. There was a time once he was the champion, he was in a race, and he was doing very well at the moment. He was battling another racer, Mario Andretti, for the lead, but it was then that I discovered something was wrong. James took the lead, and the next moment, he collided with Jochen Mass, who was third. Jim was so enraged that he walked to the track and shouted Jochen. He was so crazy and had no clue what to do. And then a lady who was volunteering at the race came over and addressed James to make sure that he was okay. However, it was not a peaceful scene. Rather, James inadvertently struck the person and he fell down. In the end, James said sorry and he still needed to pay for some money that he owed. Number 5. 1992 German Grand Prix, Senna shoves Schumacher by the collar. While he was Schumacher, this time he was in a tough situation. In the past, Ayrton Senna was one of the biggest names in Formula 1, while Schumacher was still unknown to the sport. The relationship between them was not that good, and Schumacher even accused Senna of driving dangerously in Brazil, and Schumacher was the one who caused Senna to crash in France. Before the German Grand Prix, Schumacher had blocked Senna during testing, and Senna had grabbed Schumacher's collar in the pits and scolded him, causing a huge uproar. Thankfully, some of the others in the pit lane came to the rescue and quickly managed to cool down the situation. Number 4. 2018 Brazilian Grand Prix, Verstappen bites Ocon. When Max Verstappen was ahead of Lewis Hamilton by a few seconds, but other drivers were racing under blue flags, the last thing he needed was to get into an accident. Verstappen on medium tire was lapping Esteban Ocon, who was on soft tire. Ocon was instructed by his team to unlap himself, which is permitted, but Ocon did it with aggression, like if you were racing with Verstappen. As a result, Verstappen was in awe, and they crashed, thus giving the lead to Hamilton. Verstappen was furious and flipped the bird to Ocon as a consequence of the incident. Ocon didn't express his regret and later said that Verstappen hadn't provided him with enough space. After the race, when they were on the scale, Verstappen pushed Ocon several times, making him almost fall, which was his way of showing his discontent. Number 3. 1998 Belgian Grand Prix, Schumacher gets into Coulthard's pit. When the rain became heavy, Schumacher had a 30 seconds gap by lap 24, but he was soon to catch up with a slower David Coulthard. Coulthard's team had instructed him to give way to Schumacher, so he slowed down. However, the fact that Coulthard's car sprayed water on Schumacher's goggles prevented him from seeing well, especially when Coulthard slowed right on Schumacher's racing line. Number 2. 1993 Japanese Grand Prix, Senna strikes Irvine. Ayrton Senna was actually very passionate about racing. In one race, a new driver named Eddie Irvine did not seem to understand that racing for Senna was not only about winning, but also about passion and drive. The weather had been changing a lot during the event, and it was a challenge for everyone. Senna was the leader, while Irvine and the other driver, Damon Hill, were 10 seconds behind. Though Hill and Irvine were still in the race to gain more points, Senna felt that they should let him go. Initially, Senna was careful when he passed Irvine, then he was concerned about passing Hill on the slippery track, and he was not willing to take the risk. But then, Irvine saw an opportunity for a sprint and seized it. This angered Senna as he wanted to surpass them and take the race. Hill and Irvine were having a massive argument on the track, and Senna was trying to pass them. Lastly, Senna overtook them and took the lead. He won last in the end. Then the race finished, but the tension did not. Then, when Senna met an old teammate named Gerhard Berger, it became even more heated. In response to Berger's comment, Senna became even more angry and then he approached Irvine. Irvine attempted to make a joke about how fast Senna was, but the joke only made Senna angrier. Senna ended up punching Irvine and Irvine fell down on the track. It was others to come and stop things from getting even worse, and this whole event shook up both drivers and the entire racing community. Number 1, 1982 German Grand Prix. Piquet's fierce battle against Salazar. Chile has just one Formula 1 driver so far, and that is Eliseo Salazar. However, you'll find that he's mostly known for the wrong reason. In a race, another driver called Nelson Piquet had become really angry and hit Salazar with a punch. Piquet was known for getting mad easily, and this incident showed that clearly. To be honest, Piquet had a reason to be upset. He was winning the race comfortably when he came across Salazar, who was slower because he was behind. You might have seen the video of this incident already. The F1 commentator, Murray Walker, even joked about it, saying, "And take that," as Piquet kept hitting Salazar almost like they were boxing. This is still one of the most talked about fights in Formula 1 history. Whoa, weren't those Formula 1 fights intense? It's crazy how even super skilled drivers can lose their cool sometimes. If you like watching these wild moments with us, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more exciting content. Until next time, keep watching the races and remember, it's all about the thrill of the track.